admire and respect so much. And the beauty of this is that they all said yes. So I'm going to give you a little brief introduction about each of them and tell you guys what we've been doing. And I want to thank them so much for allowing me and really wanting to open up the call tonight to everyone so that everyone's team can learn and grow and benefit. So I will start with, hang on, I don't want to miss anyone. So I'm going to start with Cindy. Cindy is amazing. Cindy is a wonderful leader. I believe she's made 11 consultants, which is so impressive. She started, am I right?
Exactly.
11 executives that I personally enrolled. Yep.
11 personally enrolled executives, which is huge. And she's just amazing at working closely with people and really creating leaders. Deanna and I started around the same time, and we were on President's Quest together to Paris and Rome. And Deanna she started an entire movement of helping parents of adoptive kids just earn money and get the kids healthy and live a better, healthier life, both physically and financially. He is the head of Adoptogenics. Drew Berman, who I just love, he comes with a wealth of knowledge, experience. He has been in the industry for 15 years, so for me it's very exciting to get to meet and know someone who's experienced so much. Ed Golden is my friend and my business partner, and in 2 years he's made an incredible residual income. He's a 5-star Golden Circle. He's a consultant making machine. Kelly Calabrese, who's phenomenal, top achiever. She's a trainer. She's just incredible in the fitness industry, in isogenics. She has a wealth of knowledge. And Laura Hernandez is an isogenics millionaire. So is Drew, and whoever I did mention is well on their way if they haven't hit yet. Laura Hernandez is an ISA millionaire. She's from Miami. She was a very shy, introverted accountant who has built an incredible, massive business. And I reached out to all of them and I asked them if they would just be willing to mastermind with me and come up with different ways on how to make this better. And I know that you're all here because you're all leaders, and we're hoping to learn and grow and make things better for our teams. So some of the things that we talked about were why, your why, really getting to the core of someone's heart. You know, by getting to know them, by asking the right questions, by really helping them see what's truly, truly possible. Because yes, many of us come here for weight loss, for products. Yes, we all come for one reason, but we stay for so many more reasons, so many wonderful things. Friendships, the community, the environment, the support, the way we feel. The residual income. So that was our first session. And then we talked about just different systems and ways to really build up our business. And tonight our discussion is events. And we know that some of the most successful people in this company, they not only go to events, but they are excellent at promoting events. So for me, you know, I started in January of 2013, and my coach said, you have to be at Celebration in August. And my husband said, you're out of your mind. You know, with 2 kids, it's 114 degrees in Las Vegas. I don't know about that. And I dragged them all, and it was a game changer. It really showed me that ordinary people are capable of doing extraordinary things if they just build the belief. And going to this event truly did help me build the belief. It helped me build a belief in myself, that I'm worth it, I deserve it, that this is possible for myself, for my family, for my children. I almost felt as though I found out like a little secret that the rest of the world didn't know. And I was very happy to jump on it and really take full advantage. So it gave me the confidence to go. Another thing that I learned from events is, you know, how to handle objections, how to explain the compensation plan to someone when I was terrified and I didn't really understand it. But you know, you learn and hear so many tidbits that you really take away. And when I saw Jimmy Smith, and I think that some of you, if you know Jimmy Smith, just raise your hand. I think some of you may know Jimmy. He was a butcher who at approximately 70 years old came to our company. And you know, for him to be the #1 income earner, and 13 years later, he's still sitting in that front row. I mean, I laugh and I tease, I say, old man, but the old man didn't even get up for a bathroom break. That's how intently he was paying attention. And looking at him, I knew the importance of being so you guys are a fly on the wall tonight, and I'm going to be our leaders because I want them to talk to me about events. If you're not muted, can you guys mute your line, please, so that it's clear for everyone? So I would like to start out with Cindy. Can you hear me okay, Cindy?
Really? Yeah, completely my fault. They hit got at the buzzer to win.
Yep. But there's some background noise though. Somebody's not muted for sure.
Can you see who it is? Because my screen is frozen.
Let's see.
I don't want to mute all the participants.
It must be somebody on the phone.
Okay.
Yep, there's some phones that aren't muted, lots of them.
All right. I'm going to see if my screen will cooperate and maybe I can mute them. But in the meantime, can you share? Oh, hold on one second. I see a button here that says mute all. There's so many callers on the line that the screen is going very slow. But can you hear me okay, Cindy?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so tell me about your first experience. Why did you go to an event? Was it an ISA event? Because I know you have a little experience in our industry prior to Isagenix.
Right, I had done 2 home party plan businesses prior to Isagenix, and I always went to events. So right out of the gate, someone told me, if you ever want to be successful in this industry, you go to events. It's not optional. You just do it. So I was trained that way. I always went to events. And when I started with Isagenix, I started May 9th, and there was an event in August, and I didn't even know what I was doing yet, but there wasn't, you know, there was no way I would miss it. So I brought 2 people with me in 2002, and, you know, this year we have 200 people, and hopefully, you know, it'll continue to grow until we sell out a ticket here. But I just feel like as a leader, it's not optional. If I don't go to the events, my team won't go to the events.
Why do you feel that they need to be there? Can't listen. I work from home. I've got kids. I'm enrolling people. Why do I need to be at this event? What would you explain to me as a leader?
Sure. Well, first of all, I have 4 kids, so I always tell people, don't let your kids and your busy life be your excuse. Let it be your why. I always go to conferences because when I come home, I'm fired up. I'm a better mother. I'm a better wife. I'm a better friend. I'm a better business builder. So you can't, until you get someone there, you can't even explain it to them how their whole life can change from an event, from attending an event. Once they attend an event, you don't have to with them again. They'll come back. They'll keep coming back for more. Getting them to their first event is just very, very important. So I just, you know, ask them questions. You know, how badly do you want this? What are your goals? And if they are really wanting to be successful, then I really encourage get to every event you possibly can, but don't go alone. Bring people with you.
Awesome. What about you, Deanna? Do you remember your first event?
I very much remember my first event. It was 4 months after I was with the company. So I came in early April of 2013, and by August, I was at at Celebration, and it was just Mark and I from our team. And it was very eye-opening. I remember the one thing that was so impressive to me is Kathy Coover came on the stage, and I needed to hear this desperately because my family, we had just pulled ourselves out of a pit, you know, financially, and we were starting to see some real fruit from, you know, what we had been building. And she came on stage, and the first sentence, she started to talk about how this was all about family. So I feel like when you go to these events, you also get exposed to our top leaders that you may not have access to in other situations. Yes, you see them, you know, walk across the screen in your back office or whatever, but you don't really see the heart and the character of them. And so you get a feel for the culture, and then the training is amazing. I mean, our company puts on events that are the best events in all of the industry. We win awards for them. So that is something for people to really be aware of. And you get a sense of the culture. You know, like you said, Angela, you see people from all different walks of life. You know, and the people that are successful from all different backgrounds. It gives you confidence. It gives you faith. And then the training is amazing. You get to be you get to be right there for new product launches. And then you do, like what Cindy said, you come back and you are ready. And it's very true if you start to look at the numbers. I mean, for me, I totally saw some spikes, and I always do after these events because my team gets all revved up. And, you know, for me personally, I never feel like I have enough people attending the events. And there's regional events, there's Super Saturdays, all kinds of events. Drew just typed in the comments over here in the chat that, and this is his line, so I'm giving him credit. But I have to say it because it's really, really true. And I'm sure he'll come on right after this. But he says not everyone who goes to events makes $10,000 in a month, but everyone who makes $10,000 a month goes to events. So the people that are making the money definitely see the value in this. And you want to make sure that, you know, if you're really serious about this, you will. I mean, we have stories of people who were basically like sleeping like 10 people to a room their first, you know, celebration. And then like the next celebration, they were like at the, top of the leadership pools.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's very, very serious, and it's an amazing thing to go. It'll change everything. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Laura, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you agree with what Deanna was saying? Have you seen spikes in your business?
Yes. So what I wanted to say was my very first event. I have someone on the line that can laugh at this term because I got it from her, from Felissa. I felt like I was strong-armed into going to that event because I was kicking and screaming. I did not want to go. I didn't see the value in it. I thought it was some raw Tony Robbins type thing. And I was a successful CPA at the time. I really didn't see the value. But, you know, as many of you on the call know my story, I really was all about the time freedom, the idea of time freedom that this opportunity that everybody talked about. And so there was a voice inside my head that I couldn't ignore. And I remember the person that enrolled me told me, you know, you should go to an event. You've been sharing it for over a year, just organically, and you're not really doing the business. You're not sharing with business focus. And I was telling her, you know, I'm not interested in the business. I was super skeptical. I still thought it was some type of, you know, pyramid scheme. I really didn't buy the business. I knew I trusted the products, but I really, really, really didn't believe in the business. And so I remember that very first event, there was something I couldn't shut off, and I made it to that first event. And I remember that second day that I was sitting there, something inside of me switched, something happened, and I started to think differently. I started to take ownership of where I was, because I was unhappy in my career, and I started to realize that if I chose that career, because where everybody is right now, you chose that. If you really take ownership that you are where you are because you chose it, whether you're a single mom trying to support your family, you still chose to be where you are. Once you understand that, then the beauty is that you can choose differently if you're not happy. And that's one thing I took away from my very first event. I just had that aha moment, like, oh my God, I can choose differently, and I will never have to miss anything with my children, again, I was working long hours and I was missing a lot. So that first event, that's what that gave me. But all the subsequent events after that first event, I never missed a celebration or a New Year's kickoff. And every single celebration and New Year's kickoff has given me exactly what I needed to get to that next level. I went into my first event making 3 cycles a week. My second event, I was already a 2-star. My third event, I was a 3-star. My fourth event, I was a 4-star. And every single event catapulted me to that next level and really showed me what to do and how to grow a team and all these things that I didn't know because I'm not a network marketer and I had no idea. So for me, events are life-changing.
What are you most proud of, Laura, in your Isogenics career? Because you've got so many beautiful accolades. I know Cindy's very proud of the 11 executives that she's helped to co-create. What do you think is the most special accolade that you hold?
For me, again, like I always tell people and they don't believe me, but I really truly am an introvert. So walking across the stage, getting recognized that doesn't make me feel great. I'm embarrassed, I feel weird about it. But when I see one of my team walk across the stage, I can't even explain to you. It's like, you know, all the moms on the line, when your kid does something great, that the peacock feathers, that's how I feel. I get goosebumps when I see someone from my team walk across the stage.
Yeah. I mean, you've won so many ISA derbies. You hit Millionaire, I believe, in 3 to 4 years. You're an incredible person, and I have so much admiration for you and everything you've done. And to hear how important these events are, it makes me personally very committed to never missing another one. Because if you got to where you are and you're saying each one you went to lifted you and gave you more and boosted you, there's no reason in the world why I don't do that. And what I love, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say before I forget that to all the moms on the call, I mean, I am the most, I can't even begin to explain how I love to be with my children. I'm on every single field trip. I'm very, very involved. I have missed their actual birthdays. I have missed their first days of school in a new school because for me, I don't use them as an excuse. I use them as a reason of why I need to build this freedom business. So I've missed those special times that has really, at first was conflicting, but in reality, I really did it for them because we're growing this business to have that freedom with them. So just keep that in mind. Use them as the reason, not your excuse.
Yeah. What really stuck out for me is that you said for the first time in your life that you were given the freedom of choosing. And isn't that so strange? I mean, some of us are at our jobs for 10, 15, 20 years, and we never put ourselves in the predicament that we actually have the freedom of choosing. And sometimes it takes something spectacular to really get you to open up your eyes and open up your heart and think, holy cow, there's a better way. There's a different way. There's another way. You might have just been muted. 30 minutes later, the mute button kicked in, so you might have to unmute. But I mean, it is remarkable because we all have the freedom of choosing and the freedom of deciding which way we want to go. And last night we were on an incredible phone call with Todd Falcone, and he was saying that, you know, to have a life that you dream of, you have to live above the line. You have to be doing what most people aren't willing to do. You have to be willing what most people aren't willing to do. And you're a very committed dance mom. You know, Deanna has 7 children. And that doesn't mean that we're less committed. It means that we want it that bad, that we're willing to make sacrifice. I don't sit on a train and work a 40-hour-a-week sacrifice, but if it means I got to get on a plane and go to an ICU once a year, it's that important. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm trying to save Drew for last. Because he has such a special story, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about Ed. Ed, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I had sponsored Ed Golden's wife about 2.5 years ago, and they had incredible results. To make a long story short, she kind of dragged him on board. He had great results, and they started kind of sharing a little bit. And I basically took advantage of a local event because, I mean, I live in New York where this kind of thing is not popular. People don't do network marketing. People don't do MLM. It's unheard of. But there was an event in Jersey, and I thought, you know what? These people will never follow me to Las Vegas or California. But at the very least, I can rent a bus, I can buy them all tickets and guilt them into coming to New Jersey. And we did. I wound up having 12 people, and Ed is one of those incredible people that came to that first event with me. So talk to me a little bit about and I wish I was unfrozen so that I could see your facial expressions because they're priceless. But tell me, what were your thoughts about going to events prior to going to one? And then how did it change after?
Yeah, I definitely didn't want anything to do with anything called an event. You know, this is when I first started. And, you know, in my head, you know, obviously I didn't know what an event was, but in my head, you know, I thought it was going to be something that I go and it's like a group of people just coming down on me and sell. So, you know, that's what I thought it was. And I wanted nothing to do with it. And if Angela didn't literally drag me, I wouldn't have gone to it. But I'm lucky I did. And the best part about it is when I went, we had fun. It was fun. There was cool people there. There was music. They were enjoying it. And it was nothing what I expected it to be like. And what I remember is, you know, one of the struggles when I first started, I don't know if any of you go through it, but it was price objection, right? It was, you know, how much does a program cost? And I would say, well, $360. You know, it was so hard to say that dollar amount. And at this event, I remember, I think it was Kathy Savage, she said, well, it's either $10 a day or $20 a day, and literally pulled out the bills. You know, which one do you want? Which one fits your budget best? And at that moment, I was like, oh my God, what a genius move. And literally every call, I mean, you know, we did team calls and said, this is how you present it now, and that's how I presented it, and that's how I present on three-way calls. And my business literally took a change. It just started going up just from that little segment that she did about price objections. You know, so you know, it's called an event, but it's really just learning, and they're there to train you and teach you and have fun while they're doing it. And so another thing for me is, you know, I walked out there, I was like, this isn't work. This isn't a job. This is just fun telling people about the products. And another great thing was, you know, it's, you know, because I was new when I started, it wasn't just my coach doing this. There was all these other people. So I didn't think she was the only crazy one trying to feed this kid. You know, it was enjoyable and a great experience.
You need other people to validate that I am not crazy. Thank you very much. But you're so right. I remember Kathy Savage that day at ICU in New Jersey, and she was so strong and so confident, and she was so just very eloquently said. People were like, well, Kathy, what do I say when people ask how much? And they were like terrified, and how do I handle the price objection? And Kathy Savage, with her sassy tone, she said, $11 a day or $20 a day. It's that simple, people. And Ed and I looked at each other like we just found like gold. We were like, what? I mean, so every time you go to an event, it's these little nuggets, it's these little things, it's these little, you know, it's these little incredible nuggets that you get to take away with you, that you get to share with your team, that I think really make this so valuable. So, at Kelly, now, yes. I know, and I just love you so much, and you actually come to speak at one of my events. You have done a lot of local things. So talk to me about local events. I mean, should people attend them? Should they get to the big ones? What's the difference between going to like something local in Texas or getting to Celebration? Do you recommend doing both? because, you know, we want to do what's best for our team.
Right. Great question. Yes, I recommend building to our 4 core big events. So start, you know, whether it's a virtual party, a home party, a super Saturday, a blitz day, start local to build global to these events. So I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're fortunate to have about 9 millionaires here in the Metroplex. So we all get together and we chip in to put on these events. Corporate will typically help to sponsor them because they are fairly large and they may or may not send someone out or send some product. But we'll get, you know, 200 plus people in a room, and it is powerful. I mean, there's some great talent and stories locally right where you are. So if you need to drive, get a van, pack the people in, and get to the local events. They build globally and they build to the bigger events. My very first event was an ICU. When I first was introduced to Isogenics, as Ange said, I was in the fitness industry, so I came in with arms folded, very skeptical. At the time, I was editing our industry's leading magazine, and everybody wanted me taking their products. I had a pantry full of products, and honestly, Isogenics was just another thing. So when I went, you know, with a science mind, looking to see, you know, does this really work, and can I put my name on it, and can they back this up? And it didn't take long for me to be fully convinced in our products. And I left there saying, why isn't everyone on the planet connected to these products? And I won't get science geeky on you, but if you have the products in your body, you know what they do. And I left there realizing that this just wasn't about fitness and the products, but it was about family, and it was about freedom, and it was about finances. And as Ed said, it was fun. I mean, I have been to many, many industry events. I spoke at industry events, so I'm an event junkie. I love to learn. But I have never been in a place where there's so many positive people who want to help you and support you, who don't even know you. And that was awesome, because at fitness events, I mean, as you can imagine, there's positive people there, but there's a lot of ego that's going on, and you don't see that at Isogenics. And when I left there, I was fully convinced, without a shred of doubt, that I could confidently talk to Isogenics about anyone, and that everyone should be connected to these products, this business. I was so impressed by the leadership. I mean, I've been in the company now 5.5 years, and it has been nothing but good news. Every single interaction that we have with corporate, they only make things better. And in going to the events, and for example, my favorite event coming up next week, Top Achievers, when you get to be immersed in the company and the culture and to hear some of the behind the scenes things that are going on, you can't help but be excited. And we know that 58% of people hate their jobs. So to be able to connect them to something that's positive and fun and healthy, it just completely inspired me. So I do everything I can to get people, as Cindy said, train them to get to events, make that part of it. Do what you need to help people get there. You know, we've all done that. We've helped people get roommates and get good deals on hotels. So it's highly, highly valuable. And every time my team comes home, we see movement on the team. Because if you can get a group of people, and it was just me at that first ICU, but then at every event after that, I've had up to 200 people at an event now. When you get 200 people on your team and they're all empowered and they're all trained up and inspired and they all start moving together, that's when you see some amazing things happen. So if it's just you, you go anyway. But next time you bring people with you.
You know, listening to you and how firm you sound and how solid you sound is very reassuring. What most people don't know about you on the whole is that you were a Montel Williams trainer. You were up for the role of the Jillian Michaels for The Biggest Loser. You have been on TV, on radio. You have been everywhere, and I'm sure you have been asked to promote all sorts of products. And the fact that you are here, not being paid any endorsement, to me speaks volumes. But what's more so is that you started with family. You started with Anthony, your husband. You started with relatives. And I think that the thing for you was you live in Texas and you had a big family in New Jersey, and you were like, here I am, an instructor where I can only reach a certain amount of people. But now through this program, I'm able to reach my family in Texas, and they were all, so stoked about it. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I love you, and I just love your story so much.
Yeah, that was definitely a moment for me. So we had been on the product for about 2 months. My husband released 45 pounds of toxic fat. I had a new husband. It was exciting. And we went home to New Jersey, and it was Christmas morning, and he walked in, and at the breakfast table, the family saw him and went, what did he do, and how can we get some? And I whipped out my iPad and took like 5 orders Christmas morning at the breakfast table. And that was a moment for me where I was like, wow, we're in Dallas, but his family who's unhealthy and just, going in the wrong direction, I can help them. And so they got started, and in a short amount of time, my niece's wedding dress went from a size 12 to a size 4 by her wedding day a couple of months later. And, just all kinds of incredible testimonials. So that was definitely a turning point moment for me because, as Ann said, as an instructor, my circle of influence was small. Now I can help people in 14 countries, and that absolutely excites me. And you're right, I had a pantry full of products because everybody wanted me taking their stuff. And this did stand out, and it's a system that works every single time when you work it.
Yeah, I would also like to point out that Kelly has a great body, does not have a huge weight loss story. Kelly is also a fitness instructor who fell in love with the products. So for me, one of the big things that events taught me is stop making assumptions. Stop generalizing things about people. I'm too fat, she's too skinny, she works out, I don't, I can't approach her. I mean, isogenics is food. Talk to everyone about it because you never know who's going to need this in her life. And, going to these events, it's taught me not to prejudge people. I watch those millionaires walk across that stage, and they are all different backgrounds, all different colors, different religions, different sizes. And I just thought maybe, just maybe, I can be one of them. And that's one of the incredible things that these events have done for me. Thank you so much, Kelly.
My pleasure.
I have Vicki Brunetti on the call. Vicki is one of my personally enrolled. She's amazing. Last month, she jumped from 2-star to 4-star. And I asked her to speak because, we're just going to lay it all out here tonight. For 2 years, she gave me every excuse why she couldn't come to Celebration. Her kid, her husband, her dog, her mother, every excuse in the book. And then she finally made the decision to come, and it was just the most incredible decision. For me, I was thrilled that she was there, but as a leader, I think that it completely did something for you personally, professionally, in your business. Talk to me about what that first celebration did. Tell me why you didn't want to go, why you just couldn't get yourself to go.
I'll be honest, it was more so for me, little excuses, either I really wasn't keen on leaving my kids for a week being so young. So the first year, that was my excuse. The second year, I said, I'm just going to take them with me. And it really was by far the best thing I've ever done. I tell all of my team, everybody that I speak to, Celebration was absolutely life-changing. And I'll never forget, I left there. I went in a 1-star executive, and me and you set a goal. It was the first week of September to hit 2-star by November. And I think I hit 2-star 2 weeks after that. I think it was the 3rd week of September. So just seeing everybody, kind of like what Ed said, it's like a big party. And that feeling in your heart that, me and you, for some of us don't know a background, we both work for Child Protective Services. Yeah. There was no meetings or any type of celebration like that going on there. You could save a kid from a house that's burning down, and you're lucky if you get a thank you. Here, the recognition, everything was absolutely amazing. And I told my team, you have to get to an event. So some came to NYKO, hoping for some more for a celebration. but it definitely has been extremely life-changing. And then after NYKO, I said, I got to definitely jump again. And I was shooting for 3-star and ended up going to 4-star. A week of pina coladas. So.
Those pina coladas. Do you think, Vicki, that you would have gotten to 4-star had you not gotten yourself to that celebration?
Oh, no, definitely not. I would have never got to 2-star if I didn't go to celebration. Absolutely not. And also, listen, you can't tell your team to, same thing with getting on calls, anything. You can't tell your team to go and try to push them to enroll and make consultants if you're not doing it. That's just the bottom line. You always, leaders have to go first. So once I started going to events, everybody's like, wow, you know what? I'm taking her a lot more seriously. People didn't take me seriously. So it really did change a lot in their eyes also once I went to celebration.
Yeah. And Ed and I talk about it all the time, but we have seen you change so drastically as a leader. I can't even pinpoint what it is, but your certainty, your posture, your demeanor, your sense of responsibility, your initiative in the group. I mean, Ed and I talk about it frequently, about how much you have grown as a leader. And I really feel that it was that event that did it. And I feel like I can grab all the people, if I can just grab all the people that I believe in so much and just get them to this event, because it's just like everything what your coach does for you, this is like times 100. Like one coach can only pour so much love and so much belief. But when you get them to this event, it's like a kid being in Disney World for the first time. It's like, oh, like heaven's gates open up. People are healthy. People are happy. People are hugging in the hallways. I cornered Jill Birth, and I think we've all seen the Jill Birth video. I literally cornered this terrified lady in between bathroom stalls and started taking selfies with her, because this is someone who I've only seen on video, who's inspired me to make a change in my life, and there she is standing right before me. And she was nice. I mean, 1 million people must have gone up to her that day, and she treated each person as though it was the first one that she spoke to. It's just, you realize that you're a part of something big, something special, something remarkable. So the last person, I just want to make sure that I got to everyone, Cindy D, and then we'll do some Q&A and some feedback at the end, most certainly. But I wanted to ask Drew to say a few words, because Drew, Isagenix is not your first company. This is not your first event. You have hosted and been a participant of many events. I know Drew has been very inspirational to my team. He's done so many calls for us. He's taught me so many valuable things that I quote and I say on a regular basis. I remember the first time I saw Drew at an event in New Jersey with Dr. And he was just like, drink shakes and tell friends. And I'm like, man, this dude is cool. And that was it. That's all it took for the friendship to form. So, Drew, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you great. Thanks for being on, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I just posted in the group hashtag selfies in the bathroom and hashtag drink shakes, tell friends.
Awesome. Tell me about your experience with events. Tell me how our events compares to some others.
Well, it's amazing. It's hearing all these other leaders speak about their first event and the rank advancing that happens. And I mean, my first event was 2006. Everyone talked about this celebration. So I gathered all my team, all my troops, tons of emails, phone calls. We had phone chains going, groups going, and I got my entire team rallied, and it was a total of 3 of us. So 3 of us were actually in Las Vegas, and this is when Dr. John Gray came out and said that Isagenix superfood helps with dopamine and serotonin and helps with stress, and he doesn't see patients anymore unless they're on the cleanse. And then Jack Canfield came out from Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he was down 33 pounds. And then the Cougars came out. There were 3,000 people at Celebration. in 2006, 3,000. And the Cougars were on stage, and they were talking about the vision of the company to free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world. And then they went like giddy. Like Kathy grabbed the microphone. She's like, we want to have more 6- and 7-figure income earners than any company in history. And then Jim grabbed the phone and said, you know, and we want to have more fun than any company in history. And then Kathy grabbed the phone and said, who's ready to do this? And then, you know, when they went from weight loss to fitness to anti-aging, it was just like over the top, over the top, over the top. And, you know, 10 months later, I was able to close my advertising company. And, you know, what's unique about this business is most people, most of us, tend to approach our demographic. So if I'm a 40s dad married, I'll approach probably a lot of 40-year-old dads that are married. If Kelly's an athlete, she'll probably, you know, talk to other athletes. If Deanna's a mom, she'll probably talk to other moms. So when you go to an event, you can get to see different demographics. You get to see different people who fit your mold better. And, you know, your upline can tell you one thing, but you can see it from someone else, and it's like, haven't I been telling you that for 2 straight years? Oh yeah, but when Angela said it, Angela made sense. Well, that's why you want to go to events. And what the company did this last year, maybe 18 months ago, with this one team vision, oh my God, it's just brilliant. So with the Stanley Cup happening right now and the Olympics coming up in August, I've been teaching around the concept of team and how, you know, if you're in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, Angela makes probably more than the guys who are in the Stanley Cup. I mean, you know, so if you take the best of the world, right, and it's Aunt Sally's 75th birthday, you're not going to call coach and be like, I can't miss the playoffs because it's my Aunt Sally's 75th birthday and she's only 75 once and I have to go. That would be insane. And people, I have a lot of teammates on this call. I have a big team in Toronto that are all athletes, and they've all worked in teams. So it's like, if coach calls practice, you go. I mean, so this event is a practice. But look, everyone's showing up. We got our A team. We got, you know, everyone's dressed to impress. And you know what? We're rolling up our sleeves. We're cracking our knuckles, and we're here. But guess what? The people that aren't here, they're not getting it. The people that showed up are the ones that, you know, you don't win in any business or any life or any sport if you don't show up for practice. So I have a 7-step system about inviting to events. I got Toronto shouting out on the screen. It's awesome. You know, because today we were talking about events, and I said, well, did you buy your ticket yet? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, well, you got to buy your ticket because that's step 1. Your event starts, you know, when you buy your ticket. So I'm going to share with you the 7-step process. I think it'll help you all, and you can give me credit the first time. So step 1 is you got to commit. You can't be like, well, maybe I'll go. You know, if I have a team, I'll go. If one of my leaders to us comes, I'll go. If I can get a prospect, I'll go. No, Lisa DeMeo calls that the spoiled milk syndrome. She's like, if you reach into your fridge, yeah, no, this one's for you. You'll like this one. This is from Lisa DeMeo. She says, if you reach into your fridge and it smells like sour milk, and you give it to your friend and say, here, taste this. Is this bad? That's like trying to invite people to the event before you buy your ticket. It's like, well, it's kind of like happening. Hey, you want to go? No, it's like, I bought my ticket. You know, so step 1 is commit. Now, I've been 10 years. This has taken a lot of practice. But Laura knows this. I mean, Kelly knows this. In my calendar is my Isogenics calendar, and then everything else is placed in. I made more cycles today from the beach than I've made in months. It's just crazy. From the beach, I like tripled my cycles today. Because when you go to events, it creates community, it creates culture, and you know, people will do this with or without you once you get them to events. That's just the key. If you can learn one skill, it's learn how to properly invite to events. And sending an email out inviting to events doesn't count. So here's the 7-step process. 1, commit. 2, buy your ticket. 3, how many people do you want there? You've got to work with some kind of end goal. Do you want 5 or 55? You know, what are you shooting for? including, new people as well as teammates. So you got to make, number 4 is you got to make a list. You got to get the list out of your head. If I wanted to have an event, Angela wanted to have an event, she's like, all right, who do I need to invite? Well, I need to invite Laura Hernandez because she's like thebomb.com. I need to invite Ed because he's like Superman consultant maker. I need to make Kelly because she's gorgeous and everyone respects her because she knows everything about nutrition. And look what happened, right? So we have all these amazing people on this call. So you want to list the people who you want to bring to the event, and you need to literally write them down a list. And then this is key. If you do this, this will change everything for you. Make 3 columns. Yes, no, and maybe. So if you invite someone to an event, you have to get a yes, a no, or a maybe. If you're not getting one of those 3 answers, then you're not properly inviting people. So an email doesn't count. And it kind of works like this. Can you go? Yes. Okay, great. Then you repeat those processes. Can you commit? When can you buy your ticket? Can you go? No. Okay. Why can't you go? Are there obstacles we can help you overcome? No. It's definitely a no. Okay. Then can we set up a time, one-on-one or on the phone, for 2 or 3 days after the event so I can share with you what I learned? So the event's not just about the event. The event is the activity that you create in your life and in your business up until the event, because your business is going to continue after the event. So if someone says no, it's their wedding weekend or whatever, they can't go, okay, can you connect 2 or 3 days after so I can share with you what I learned? That keeps the engagement. And then people who say maybe, okay, well, what are your obstacles? Well, I might have a work issue, I might have an issue with my kids, and I might have an issue with money. Okay, if we can work out the work issue and your kids and the money, will you go? Yes, okay. So which obstacle do we need to overcome first? The job. Okay, when can you talk to your boss? Tomorrow. Okay, so let's follow up tomorrow and turn that maybe into a yes or a no. If it's a no, good. We'll close this chapter and we'll say no with integrity. We'll say no as a team. So this way we can still invite your team because you have a prior commitment. So when can we follow up so you can get the benefits of it? But you want to, if you have it on a list, all the people, yes, no, maybe, now you have at least something to work with. You have a checklist. So if I know I have an event coming up and I have 30 people that I want there, if they don't have a yes, no, or maybe, then you didn't properly invite them.
Right.
So the proper is the invite. Number 6 is now you got to contact all those people that are on your list. You actually have to contact them. And you don't just send an email. How do you invite for an event? Like it's a freaking wedding. Text, email, Facebook, Skype, Twitter, phone call, follow-up. I mean, you have to have you have to kind of create a campaign. My wife says to me, if I hear you promote another event, I'm going to go crazy. Why do you promote every event like it's the best event ever? I'm like, because it is the best event ever. It's the next event. The next event is the best event ever. Ever. Because the timing, you've changed, you've grown. So, and then number 7 is just repeat the whole process. As soon as people say yes, so you got to make sure they buy their ticket. And just so you know, yes means maybe, and maybe means no. That's just the facts, Jack. If someone says yes, it kind of means I'll probably come unless something better comes up. So as we start getting closer to events, I've been using this line for 10 years. It's funny, but it makes a point. I said, can I count on you, even if there's a snowstorm or a flat tire, can I save you a VIP seat? Because I only have a couple. That seems to work, and I say it in the summer, and people laugh. But it puts priority on the event, and for that reason, I think I've got teammates that won't even return my calls anymore, but they're showing up at events and they're building. They don't need me. It's so cool because the events do their magic. And this particular event, well, I have an Isogenics University in action in Toronto. David Wood is running that. That's probably my favorite event because it's just practice. But celebration, I mean, Eric Worre's teaching leadership, Maroon 5 private concert, and then Mario Lopez is running the gala. It's just going to be off the charts fun. So that's my little piece on events. I hope.
Drew,
Can
I recap one more time for everyone?
Sure.
Okay, so number one and the most important step is making a commitment. Regardless, come hell or high water, you have to commit first. Because if you're not 100% committed, nobody is going to go. Buy your ticket. Show your team that you are in fact committed. Number three, determine how many people you're planning on bringing. Set a goal for yourself, like you do for your business, like you do for your presentations, like you do for your contacts. Set a goal for how many people you're going to bring. So if you determine 50, make that list. Number 4 is make your list, and then keep a column, yes, no, maybe. And then you want to contact everyone to kind of go over whether they're going to be there. Are you sure? Just to confirm. And what is number 7 again?
Repeat.
Repeat. Perfect. Thank you. So, Drew, I want you to tell us a little bit, because I know we talked a little bit in the past, and you mentioned going to other events and, in previous companies where events are just non-negotiable. You talked about CDs, events, and, presentations, and this was the whole business. And then all of a sudden you got to this company and you kind of grew at a very, very rapid pace. So tell me what do you think it is about us that makes things different? Our events that separates us from the rest. What do you think it is?
Well, I have a woman on the call, Tara, who I spent an hour with on the phone today. And she's an athlete, so we were talking athlete analogies and fitness analogies throughout. Like, okay, this is a 2-week, preseason. Ice State University starts your season. We're going to meet other athletes. But as I started talking to her, I realized she was young. She's in her 20s. So I started talking about Start Your Life. Now, I'm 43, but I'm in tune enough with Start Your Life. Start Your Life is what Eric Hoover created. And I get very excited when I hear their mission is to have 1,000 young people under 35 earning 6 figures by 2020. I was talking to Tara about having 2020 vision, right? 2020 vision is we talk about, what was behind us, but the year 2020 is right around the corner. So let's have 2020 vision now of what we want to project for 2020, and then work backwards, so with that we actually do have 2020 vision. So knowing that the events are coming up throughout the next couple months, you put them in your calendar. So to answer your question, Angela, yeah, I became obsessive compulsive with events. Like, I don't miss them. I mean, I told you in my previous company, I did have to miss 2 weddings. Now, here's the deal. Laura makes $1 gazillion million a week because of her commitments to her family. So when she has to miss a daughter's game, she doesn't want to as a mom,
right,
but she has to, so that the daughters can have the lifestyle that she has. So when I had to miss my 2 friends' weddings in my old company, it was emotional, but I'm still friends with both of them. One of them is divorced. I sent a card, I sent a gift. If I didn't have that work ethic back then when I was making this much, 0, it would have impacted my game now. See, the Olympics are next month. So if someone's competing for the gold with 1/100th of a second and it's 2 months away, coach calls practice. It's not my aunt's birthday today. I'm practicing for the gold of the Olympics. So you can be a happy customer, no pressure. You could dabble in this, no pressure. But if you want to make what Lynn Hagedorn says, which is gangster money, as a mom in Nebraska, she makes gangster money. It's because she doesn't do 1 presentation a year. She does 1 presentation an hour, 12 hours a day.
I love it. Thank you, Drew, so much. And, you come with so much experience, and I listen to the experts. I listen to the people that have gone and that have done it before me. And if they tell me that it's necessary to be there to make a success of myself, for my family, not, not for any other reason, whatever your goals are, whatever you feel is driving you, is pulling you. Maybe you don't care about money. Maybe you just want to help people. Maybe you want to change the world. Maybe you want to, open a school in South Africa. Whatever it is that you want to do, this is the vehicle to get you there. But if you want to get there in a timely fashion, if you want to do the best you can for your team, for the people that you're trying to show, you definitely have to go to these events. So I am going to ask the leaders one at a time. I can't see anyone. I can't control anything. I'm looking at a black screen at this point. I would like to do something special for the people on the call tonight. If you purchase a ticket for yourself or someone else this evening, your name is going to be entered into a raffle. We're going to put it in a hat, and we're going to pick it Sunday night. We're combining all the names, all our teams, and I'm going to pull a hat. And if you have the heart to get a ticket and for someone else or yourself, and see the value and see the importance in getting them to this event, you're going to get your name in the hat, and then we'll pick a name, and then we'll give a free ticket to whoever gets called. We want to give back. We want everyone to see what we see and have what we have, and really take this opportunity by the cojones and go for it, because it's really incredible what we stumbled upon. I mean, this is really, truly a gift. So again, if you purchase a ticket tonight, whether it's for yourself or someone else, let your coach know, your team leader. We'll enter your name in a hat for a drawing, and then we'll pick somebody for a free ticket. I want to thank the coaches who are on tonight. Ed, Vicky, Laura, Cindy, Kelly, Drew, Deanna. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, but let's unmute your lines. Coaches, do you have any comments or feedback? Maybe Deanna, something into your head that you didn't get to discuss?
No, I just want to, I loved what Drew was saying. It was great to just pretty much end the call with him. And, I think as leaders, sometimes we get really frustrated because we go to the events and we're able to absorb so much. And then we see people who say they want it so badly, and then they don't go. And I love when Drew was saying that it's non-negotiable in other situations, because it's sort of like when we need to kind of repeat things that were so well said, it's difficult to capture it. And so you place the investment in this. I purchased my President's Pack by borrowing money. Granted, by the time I went to Vegas 4 months later, I was starting to make money, but we were digging ourselves out of a ditch, a financial ditch, and we still found our way to get to that because we valued it, and we knew that it was going to be the vehicle to take us out there, and what we were learning was more valuable than anything, and that's what we were going to put our money on. And that was, we can use an analogy even with Vegas. What are you going to put your money down on that gives you the best odds? This gives you amazing odds. You go there and you learn and you apply what's taught to you, and there's no guarantee, as we know, but the odds are pretty good that if you put into motion what they're telling you and you really are committed and you make a decision, there's no better investment. Seriously.
Thank you. Cindy, few last words?
Yeah, I would just, say that so many of, I've gone through the screens to see who's on this call, and so many of my outstanding leaders are on this call, and they get this and they know this, and it's just really teaching it to everyone in your whole entire organization. We understand the value of it. You've heard all of our passion around events. We teach it, we preach it, we walk the walk, and that's what you all need to do, because your belief level, your team's belief level, and what we have to offer will only, like David Wood says, your belief meter will just go off the charts if you can get your people to these events. So, we might be preaching to the choir here with so many of you. You already get this, but our point is, teach this to your people and let it just keep continuing to trickle down. And this event is almost sold out. So we were just at ICU in Chicago, and I was surprised it didn't sell out at that event, to be honest with you. They did not do a special at that event because they're so close to being sold out. I don't think they had to, quite honestly. That's my opinion. So I know there's not many tickets left. So really get on this. Make this your business. Make this your income producing activity this week to get more bodies on your team to this event.
Yeah, absolutely. I bought another 5 this week because I'm casting a vision of 5 more people, brand new people who are committed and on board and going. I get the tickets first and worry about the circumstances later. What about Ed? A few last words. We'll take about a sentence or two. We're a little bit running behind time. Ed?
Yeah. If you're new, just getting started or spending more time, go to Celebration. It shouldn't even be an option. If you're serious, there's a couple things that make this a hobby and make it, a business. And in today's day and age, if you want a successful business, you have to do what it takes. If you are, been around for a while, take some people to Celebration. It's the best thing you could do for them, for you, for their business, and your business. It's truly life-changing. It's you can get a room for $54 in Vegas. So money's not an issue, but it's life-changing. Absolutely life-changing.
Belief in the industry, belief in the company, in the products, in the comp plan, and yourself. You walk out of an event, like Tracy O'Malley says, 10 feet tall and bulletproof in all 5 categories. And that's what you need to do to really pick things off the ground.
You guys will be able to see me sing off with Adam Levine.
Yeah, Adam Levine. Yeah, that's good enough reason. What about you, Kelly?
I would say to set aside some time in like a 90-minute bubble and comb through your tree and look for the people who have some activity or who have some money sitting, and just take the time to call them and let them know, hey, you were highlighted to me. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in your life right now, but I just know that I know that I know that I know if you could get to this event, this could be a total difference maker. I mean, we know we're helping people. There are 2 areas of greatest brokenness, their health and their wealth. So sometimes that personal outreach, that you just call them at the right moment, that it was what they needed to hear. And even if you don't get them, don't make it be a wasted call. Leave a message and just say, hey, you were just brought to my attention today, and I feel like we're supposed to connect and you're supposed to be at this event. Let's talk. And then you're a master at this. Once you hear what their hurts and their brokenness is, show them how this could be the vehicle. Make that connection and get them. It will be worth it to take a little time and reach out for people personally and then keep going. I mean, still do the Zoom calls and the emails and the post on your Facebook boards, but that personal touch could be that's what it took for me, for someone to call me and say, you're crazy if you don't go. You need to be at this event. I mean, it really got my attention because no one's just sitting around going, what will I do with all this extra time? We're all busy. My kids had stuff just like your kids do, but once I went, I got it. But until I went, I didn't really get it. So make that little bit of extra effort. It'll be worth it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. What about you, Vicki? Any last words for the team?
No, I actually am going to take Drew's suggestions, and I want to reach out to a few people, more than a few, and call them instead of just saying, let's go, come to Vegas, got to get things popping. And the other night, I just want to say, and remember when we were on the call, I said I had 3 people coming?
Yes.
I actually have 13 right down line. I have 13.
Yay!
I said I had 3 at 13 on my right side. So.
See, it all starts with you, my friend. I mean, if you didn't go, you would not have those 13 coming.
Nope.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank
what
you.
about Laura? Last words, and let's close out the call with Laura.
Okay, so really quick, if any of you feel like you have some excuses in your head or some great reasons why you can't go, or if you're talking to someone that has some great reasons why they can't go, I always ask a hypothetical question, and I ask them, if I gave you a check for $10,000. And again, it's not about the money, it's what that $10,000 would do for you and your family. If that would make a difference in your life, if I gave you that check, would you find, would you make it happen? Would you go? And if the answer is yes, then it is possible for you to go. So the $10,000 is a dangling carrot. I mean, that's how much, I humbly share, that's how much I made the month after my first event. So really, if that money would make a difference in your life or bring you the freedom that you're looking for, then there's really no other answer.
Yes, yes, I love it. I want to thank you, leaders, for being on. We have our next mastermind in about 2.5 weeks after Hawaii. I want to thank you all for joining me and agreeing to do this, for taking time out of your busy lives. I know everything you do is only to support, encourage, and motivate others to get to where you are. I love you guys. I'm very proud to call you my friends, and I want to thank you so much, Mastermind Group, for doing this tonight and for allowing me and you guys to open up the call and invite our teams to be a part of it and just see how blessed we are. You know, every day I pinch myself and think what an incredible company and how many beautiful people we attract. I mean, how in the world would I have connected with someone like Kelly or Drew or Cindy? Every day I thank God, and I just feel so incredibly blessed to be a part of it. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and I hope that you received a lot of value from this call, and let's pray to God that it actually recorded so everyone can enjoy it. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
Angela.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you,
Have a
thank
great
you,
night.
thank you.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Night,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I learned a lot today.
And my computer is still frozen.
Okay, have a good evening. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you for being on.
Bye.